Would you join me, sisters and brothers, in 1 Peter chapter 2? The book of 1 Peter chapter 2, and we'll read a rather lengthy passage of scripture, verses 4 through 10. 1 Peter chapter 2, verses 4 through 10. I promise you I'm going to say what I have to say and sit myself down. 1 Peter chapter 2, verses 4 through 10. This is the New Living Translation. You are coming to Christ, who is the living cornerstone of God's temple. He was rejected by people, but he was chosen by God for great honor. And you are living stones that God is building into his spiritual temple. What's more, you are his holy priest. Through the meditation of Jesus Christ, you offer spiritual sacrifices that please God. As the scriptures say, I am placing a cornerstone in Jerusalem, chosen for great honor, and anyone who trusts in him will never be disgraced. Yes, you who trust in him recognize the honor God has given him. But for those who reject him, the stone that the builders rejected is now become the cornerstone. And he is the stone that makes people stumble, the rock that makes them fall. They stumble because they do not obey God's word, and so they meet the fate that was planned for them. But you are not like that. Somebody say, that's me. But you are not like that, for you are a chosen people. You are royal priests, a holy nation, God's very own possession. As a result, you can show others the goodness of God, for he called you out of the darkness into his wonderful light. Once you had no identity as a people, now you are God's people. Once you received no mercy, now you have received God's mercy. That's the reading of God's holy and unchangeable word. You may be seated in his presence. We've been spending time together in these moments for the past few Sundays talking about this issue of salvation, because whether we recognize it or not, people are always asking us, are we saved? Are you saved? I know that they have good intent, but folk want to know, are you saved? And the question I have of God, saved for what? Why in the world do I need to be saved in the first place? But another thing that I have discovered, sisters and brothers, that most of the time when people ask you, are you saved, they want to know, are you saved according to their qualifications, and in a very real sense according to their limitations. Come on and walk with me, because I have discovered, sisters and brothers, that the fact of the matter is church people can ask some insensitive questions. Church people, even though they are well-meaning, can ask you some things that you know disturb you, but you try to catch yourself so that you don't handle them the way you really feel like handling them. Have you noticed that church people will ask you some very personal questions and look at you like you're supposed to answer them just because they are inquiring? Have you recognized, sisters and brothers, that church people will get all up in your business and think that they have the right to be there? I know I'm not the only one, that church people will finish praising God, but as soon as the benediction is over, they want to know what's happening in your house. As soon as the benediction is over, they want to know what's going on with your children. As soon as the benediction is over, they want to know why you were laid off from your job, how you doing with your money, how your cousin them doing. Church people can ask some insensitive questions. I know I'm right about it, because many times they will ask you the wrong thing at the wrong time. And even though you saved and love the Lord, and you know the Lord loves you, let's go on and tell the truth. Sometimes you want to put them in their place, and not in a kind way. I know I have one or two witnesses in here. Church people can ask some insensitive questions. One of the most insensitive things that somebody who's supposed to be from the church, who's talking about the Lord, can do is to walk up to somebody, and particularly somebody who is not saved or somebody who is new in the faith, and ask them, are you saved? Because most of the time church people want to know, are you saved, and do you speak in tongues? As if speaking in tongues have anything to do with being saved. They want to know, are you saved, and do you go to church? Well, let's go on and tell the truth. I love church. I love the saints. I'm glad for Sunday morning. Can't nobody outpraise me, even though they tease me about my singing. I'm gonna sing anyway. But can we tell the truth? There's a lot of devils that go to church. Don't look to your right or to your left, because there might be some devils on your road right now. Church people can ask some insensitive thing. Are you saved? Which really means, do you give your tithes? Are you saved? Which really means, do you wear your dresses down to the floor? Do you button your shirt up to your neck? Do you cover your head when you go to church? Are you saved? Does it mean that you have a new suit to wear every Sunday and a fresh tie and some new kicks every Sunday? Are you saved? Do you bow down when the bishop comes in the room? Do you worship Reverend Dr. So-and-so rather more than you worship Jesus Christ? They want to know, are you saved? Many times, if somebody ask me, am I saved? I really want to say, none of your business. It ain't none of your business whether or not I'm saved. I'm saved. I love the Lord, and you will not dictate my relationship with Jesus Christ. It ain't none of your business, because you don't know like I know just what the Lord has done for me. It ain't none of your business because you weren't there when he met me in the midnight hour. It ain't none of your business because you weren't there when I was down and out. As a matter of fact, you looked at me and walked over me. So don't ask me if I'm saved. Are we together in here? Church people can ask some insensitive questions, and the truth of the matter is their insensitive questions will many times, especially if you are new in the faith, if you're wondering about your relationship with Jesus Christ, will have you questioning your very own identity in the Lord. I know I'm right about it, because if they ask you enough, if they set standards enough that make you feel like that you are not meeting the church's standards or their standards, it'll make you question your identity in the Lord. I bring it to your attention because we've been trying to answer this question about saved for what. I think I came to tell you today. No, I know that I came to tell you today that God will step into your life. God will transform your thinking. God will change the way you do your business. And it is all in the manner that he makes us know who we are in him. Can I tell you that when you know who you are in the Lord, nobody can talk you out of your faith. When you know who you are in the Lord, you'll stand up for right. I don't care who else is standing up for wrong. When you know who you are in the Lord, you will press forward even though you know that there's everything working against you. When you know who you are in the Lord, you don't mind being by yourself because you recognize that everybody can't hang at the level where you are. When you know who you are in the Lord, you will bless those who curse you and not think anything of it. When you know who you are in the Lord, you will bless the Lord based upon how he has blessed you and dare somebody to roll their eyes at you. When you know who you are in the Lord, you will stand strong on the word that God has placed in your heart, no matter who tries to tell you who you are not or what you can't do. Does anybody in here know the Lord? I know that I know no devil in hell can stand against me because I know I'm chosen. I might have to deal with the storm, but the storm is not going to stop me because I know. Anybody with me know you chosen? I know I'm chosen, and at the end of the day, when the dust settles, when all that has to be done is done, when every I is dotted, when every T is crossed, when Christ comes back, I can stand up and say, you got your click, I'm chosen, I'm on my way to heaven. You are chosen. You are chosen. Put your name. Put your name. You are a royal priesthood. You, a royal priesthood. Now look, don't get the big head. Don't get it twisted. That don't mean that you are any better than anybody. I know you don't know people like this, but I run across these people every now and then who think that they are better than the rest. Who have the audacity to look down their nose at you based upon your appearance. You know the ones, huh? You know the ones who got a few little papers on the wall and the little numbers in their bank account, and they think they all that, and they looking at you and they don't know you have some papers too, and every now and then God will give you something that you can rub together. You know the ones that think because they try to keep up with the so-called Joneses and buy clothes and jeans and tennis shoes and purses that they can't afford. You know the ones with the purses that cost $400, but they don't have $10 to keep money in. You know the ones and have the audacity to look at you with your Walmart purse like you, but they just don't know with your Walmart purse you got a pocket full of money, and they got an expensive purse and don't have nothing. Are y'all walking with me in here? Don't get it twisted. We are not any better than anybody else, but the word does say that you are sisters. You are included in this. You are a royal priesthood. Now you know at the very base, the foundation of this issue of priesthood, priests were put into place to do something. Yeah, I know that we get the image today that the priest was the one who did the talking. No, the priest was the one who did the work. You are a royal priesthood. God has made you who you are. God has put you in place so you can do something and not just talk. I know it's not you. I know it's not you, but you know some people, don't you? They got the answer for everything. You know some people, don't you? Every time you turn around, they talking about something what somebody should have done. Monday morning quarterbacks. You know the ones, don't you? Yeah, they sit there, and think they have the answer, but never open their mouth until the deed is done, and then they want to get a little crowd around them so they can talk about you for what you woulda, coulda, shoulda done. And how they would have handled your children. Well, it ain't your children, so back up off me. You all forgive me. I'm just preaching it like I feel it today. And so the word is that you are not to just talk, to do. God put you in place to be a man or a woman of action. You are productive if you surrender to the Lord, if you follow his will, if you let him do what he has to do. I came to tell you, baby, you will look around and you won't even realize all that you have accomplished in life. And I'm not talking about just church stuff. I'm not so naive that I don't know that there are some dreams, there are some hopes, there's some visions in your heart and in your mind that have nothing to do with the church, but I came to tell you, if it's God, it has everything to do with you and with him, and if God put it on your heart, if you trust him, God will make it happen. And get this, nobody may be singing Amazing Grace, but God will still get the glory. But God will still get the glory. The business that's been on your heart, the book that's been on your heart, the ministry that's been on your heart, helping that child that's been on your heart, getting the promotion that's been on your heart, starting this new thing that's been on your heart. Trust him, baby. And you don't need the priest to make the sign of the cross over you. If God gave it to you, God will let it happen. All he wants you to do is step out and do it. Somebody say, do it. One more and I'm gone. He made you, he chose you, he made you a royal priesthood, and he made you a holy nation. I love it. I love it because it makes me realize that two things are at work in my life, which proves that the devil has no say in our lives. First of all, he calls you holy. Remember, I told you that the Lord chose you, sisters and brothers, connects to this issue of holiness, because in a very real sense, what God does is look at all of his options, puts his hand on you, and picks you out of the crowd. Now, I don't know who else was chosen at the time that I was chosen. All I know is God didn't have to choose me, but he did. And when he did, he pulled me away from the foolish. Put your name in the slot. God pulled you away from the foolishness of this world. That's why it gets on your nerves. Now, that's why you can't take it too much. That's why you can only be around it for a little while, and then you have to jet. It's because God has pulled you away. I love it because not only did he pull you away from foolishness, and foolish people. He pulled you away from trying to destroy yourself. With the crooked thoughts that we can think. I'm never going to make it. I'm never going to survive. God pulled you away from all of that stuff. God pulled you away, baby, from doing destructive things. Like getting high when you really need to be getting low on your knees. God pulled you away. Y'all getting quiet on me now. God pulled you away, dear heart. He pulled you away, like sleeping when you really need to be awake, and awake when you really need to be asleep. God pulled you away from all of those foolish things. Are we still together? Not only does he say that you are holy, but he called you a nation. I want you to know that when you stand, you are not the only one standing. God has others with you, baby. They may not be the loudest, they may not be the most visible, but you are not standing alone. God always has somebody assigned to be on your team. I don't think you heard me. God always has somebody that's assigned to be on your team. When you think you're alone, God will raise up a good friend. When you think you're alone, God may skip over the one that you thought was down with you, but it turns out that they're just down to get you, and God will pick the one that has your heart. You are never alone in your fight. Give God praise.